Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. It's day 31 of my favorite rock albums from the year 1982. And we have the number one album today. I don't think it'll be a surprise to some people who know me, and especially my shirt is giving it away a bit. Yes, Judas Priest's Screaming for Vengeance. This album has had a bit of a complex history with me. So I've had the vinyl version of it, of course, initially for about 3 or 4 years before I gave my entire collection to my sister when I moved out. And then I bought this one fairly quickly when I started my CD collection. It's probably among my first 20 or 30 albums that I collected on CDs. Just a fantastic album. So initially for me, when I had it in vinyl, I was like most people. I liked the radio stuff quite a bit. The Hellion and Electric Eye, and of course Another Thing Coming. I liked both those tracks. I still like those tracks. Maybe not as much as I used to, but I do. And then it kind of gave way to some of the more really heavy stuff. Fortunately, the song Screaming for Vengeance became my favorite on the album for a long period of time. Along with almost that entire first side, which kind of moved up quite a bit over the course of the time. And then the second side, of course, took over later, and in the last few years, songs like Pleasure and Pain, Fever, and Devil's Child have all done much better for me. But there was a period of time when the first 4 tracks on here, the first 5 tracks actually, The Hellion, Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Bloodstone, and Take These Chains, that was probably one of my favorite runs of songs off of an album, of any album I've owned. And and then you flip it over and you've got just another brilliant side. So of course the artwork is really good again. I really like the kind of almost metallic look to the everything. Almost the what do we call it? The Transformer look to all this album, and the Defenders of the Faith, and then I think Turbo Lover is the same, or Turbo is the same. Yeah, this was kind of the first. It's the first Judas Priest album that really had an impact on me. It was also my first Judas Priest album, and then for the longest time, it was my only Judas Priest album. Even when I eventually got the this version, which is this disc that I have here, it wasn't until maybe a couple decades ago that I got the second one, which was Defenders of the Faith. And then I had a greatest kind of hits album that a friend of mine had that didn't want it, and I put it, and I was playing it a lot in my car. And then that moved me to get other albums from it. But since the channel has come on, I've really upped my Judas Priest album collection. I think it's now at least 8 or 9 of their studio albums are now fully in my discography. And this band has really moved up too. They are pushing to be a top 10 band for me. I never thought that was going to happen. Like when we first started this channel, they were probably around number 20. They just continue to move up, even past Iron Maiden, and I wouldn't have thought that was even possible. I thought Iron Maiden's position on them was just not movable. But Iron Maiden didn't have the kind of comeback when I started this channel that these guys had. They are now experiencing that now, but they're a little bit behind Judas Priest. But I'm just curious to see in the end which one of these 2 bands will end up being my favorite of the metal ones, other than Black Sabbath, which is a master, which is in my group of 9 now. So this band has a real good shot to make that a group of 10. Could be a year or so away, hard to say, but I think they're pushing it now with a lot of their older stuff, which I've gone back and purchased. But it all started with this masterpiece album for me. I've actually certified this one as a masterpiece for me as well on my masterpiece albums a couple years back now. It wasn't for the longest time, but I just, when I started listening to it again, and when I got this copy, so the original copy of them, I had vinyl, and then I got another CD, and that CD got damaged during my first move into the house with my wife. So this one is actually not the original one. I do apologize. I forgot about that other one. I had it for a long time, but I wasn't really listening to it. When I got this, I was playing it all the time. So, yeah, Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, the number one album from 1982 for me, well-deserved, really wasn't challenged too hard. Some of the other albums were quite good and put it to the test, but I think this one just ruled out. It was, when I first started this series, when I was putting the albums together, I knew that this one was going to win it. I knew it right from the beginning. It was just too good to pass on. So Screaming for Vengeance from Judas Priest, number one. So we will later this afternoon do the honorable mentions episode, in which I've made a list of some albums that I wanted to give some honorable attention to that didn't quite make the top 31 because there's only 31 spots, so you can't put 40 albums into 31 spots, right? Anyways, please hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell, and you can comment on this album or the series if you want, or whatever you want, in the comment section below, and we will see you later this afternoon for the honorable mentions. Take care and goodbye.